when I first started coming, I really worried, would I really be able to say anything to them? Would they listen to me? Because obviously we're totally different backgrounds and totally different worlds, and what do I have, how can I relate to them? But somehow I've really felt like I've connected with a couple of the kids, and even if I make a difference in one kid's life, it's worth years of Friday evenings.
I'm a triathlete, so I run, swim, bike. We were trying to do a running program with them so that they could get healthier. We're trying to look at different aspects of their lives that they're not aware of, maybe. So we have a greenhouse project, we have a running project, and a music program as well.
For a while, we did the music program where we taught some kids to play guitar, others to play piano, others we would have them come in, either write their own raps and record music and remix songs and that sort of thing on the computer.
The whole point for me is to interact with the kids, say, I look somewhat like you, and I'm doing things that aren't what you may have seen in the past, you know. As a child growing up, I've always done things that aren't normal, you know. When people say, oh, well, black people don't ski, well, I go, well, where are the slopes at? You know, that's the type of person I've been, and I try to just be myself around the kids and hope that, you know, they can see me and say, well, you know, he's different and being different is okay.
I was actually in yoga class one day, and one of the girls that was taking the yoga class, you know, on the other side of the room mentioned that she was doing yoga in the detention center for the guys. And yoga is very much a female-oriented thing, and I said, you know, if they're, you know, boys, if they're teenage boys that are in the detention center, then, you know, maybe my yoga influence would be helpful in that case.
With Empowered Youth, where we deal with the kids one-to-one, there it's more of an opportunity to really talk to the kid, get to know them a little bit more, understand their background, their family, their circumstances, and where you might be able to do a little bit more for them.
What we don't really do is make them walk around as victims of the community and victims of society, because that will not get you anywhere. You do want to address and identify what are the shortcomings of your community, what are the shortcomings of your family, what are your own shortcomings. Now, what are the positive things? Where are your strengths? Okay, let's embrace those. But how can we strengthen the things that we can change? And that's the proper approach, because a lot of them are just born into bad circumstances. But you can't embrace that bad circumstance, because everyone have an opportunity to make the right decision. When you do a criminal act, it's a choice. And that's what we tell them. Because if we tell them anything else, it would be a lie. And then they'll always make excuses for what they do. And excuses will not allow you to be free. You have to take responsibility, accept your accountability, and move on. But the moving on is the part in this time where you're sitting here that we're going to give you some tools with all these different services that come on to kind of help you maybe to assess and have some options on how you're going to move on.
I would say that our program is some part healing, some part parenting, and some part tools and resources. You know, we support them, they all get mentors. And that is huge for these kids. A mentor is huge.
I really feel like I've made a difference in some of the kids' attitudes, and maybe in some small way I can help them from getting back into the same recurring, you know, cycle of doing time, getting out, doing another crime, doing more time.
As a superintendent, I tell each and every one of my officers, when a youth walk through the threshold of admissions and release, they're entering into a place of hope, not a detention center. So we have to build an environment and a culture that supports what I say. So the only way we can do that is by offering them services that's not expected.
We've seen such transformation in the kids that we've been working with for a while. They see hope in their lives. They see a future for themselves they never imagined. We help them discover their gifts. So it's this kind of this wonderful unfolding of a flower that's been closed up.
Nothing speaks louder than youth transformation. When you have somebody in front of you who used to gangbang, when you have somebody in front of you who didn't give a damn about going to school, who now wants to pursue a doctorate degree, the young people themselves, In the work that I've done across this country and even internationally, as I said, I haven't met one young person that did not want to change. I've met some that weren't ready, but that tells me that under the right atmosphere, in the right environment, that all of our young people can be helped and they all can be saved, and nothing speaks louder than their own voices.
I realized that if I keep doing what I'm doing, I can end up dead or locked up for the rest of my life.
I learned a lot of things. I learned that I just weren't hurting me, but I was hurting my family and my daughter.
I realized in the long run, patience is a virtue, so nobody can't change you if you don't want to change yourself. At the same time, people in this facility also help me better myself. There's certain officers, certain supervisors, the teachers as well are a big influence.
Correction officers that here that's working on their, getting their masters and stuff. I realized that if you put your mind to something, you can accomplish it. Don't ever give up.
So what about groups like Empowered Youth and groups like that? Tell me about what their impact has been.
But like they're very inspiring. Like, and like I like the fact that they come here to talk to us and they really don't have to waste their time to come talk to somebody that's committing crime and that's locked up.
Whenever they come talk, they always mention something I was unaware of. They put something in my mind that I can stick with, so I can use later in future terms.
You know, I can't just think about yourself, you gotta think about your family too. I do something wrong, my family gonna suffer with that.
I'm committed to my daughter. I'm committed to making her future better than mine was and not having a father. She need to have a father.
I'm not gonna say I'm done changing, but my mind frame has changed dramatically. I don't think the same I used to think